The Unthinkable. The murder of Keimani Latigue. Imagine a community shattered, a family devastated, and a young life tragically cut short. This is the story of Keimani Latigue, a 13-year-old girl from Toledo, Ohio, whose disappearance and subsequent murder have left a scar on the hearts of many. This is a story of betrayal, violence, and the urgent need for justice. Give a like and subscribe. Leave a comment. On March 16th, Keimani Latigue was reported missing, sparking a frantic search. 9 days later, the worst fears were confirmed. Her body was discovered in an abandoned building. The Fraternal Order of Police has described this case as one of the most horrific, a testament to the brutality Keimani endured. This case has shaken the Toledo community to its core. The details surrounding Keimani's death are deeply disturbing, highlighting the vulnerability of children and the potential for unspeakable acts of violence. We must understand the events that led to this tragedy to prevent similar occurrences in the future. Darnell Jones, Keimani's own father, quickly became the prime suspect in her disappearance and murder. Suspicion arose from inconsistencies in his statements to the police. He was also the last person known to have seen Keimani alive, casting a dark shadow of doubt upon him. After fleeing Toledo, Jones was eventually apprehended in Columbus, Ohio. His attempt to evade law enforcement only deepened the suspicions surrounding his involvement in Keimani's death. The arrest marked a crucial step in the pursuit of justice for Keimani. Columbus police had been conducting surveillance on Jones for 2 days before the confrontation. The arrest took place in the Victorian Village neighborhood, a normally quiet residential area. The sudden eruption of violence shocked the local residents. During the arrest, Jones allegedly fired at the officers, who returned fire, injuring him. He was then taken to Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center in stable condition. This violent confrontation underscores the desperation and potential danger involved in apprehending suspects in such heinous crimes. Darnell Jones now faces a litany of charges, reflecting the severity of his alleged crimes. In Toledo, he is charged with kidnapping and murder in connection with Keimani's death. These charges carry the potential for severe penalties, reflecting the gravity of the loss. In Columbus, Jones also faces charges of felonious assault for allegedly firing at police officers during his arrest. He is scheduled to appear in Franklin County Municipal Court to answer for these charges. The legal proceedings will be closely watched as the community seeks justice for Keimani. The Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation is currently investigating the police shooting that occurred during Jones's arrest. This investigation aims to ensure transparency and accountability in the actions of law enforcement. The findings will be crucial in determining whether the use of force was justified. The Lucas County Coroner's Office conducted an autopsy to determine the cause and manner of Keimani's death. The autopsy revealed that Keimani died of incised wounds of the neck, and her death was ruled a homicide. While full details have not been released, the information available paints a grim picture of the violence she endured. The community's reaction to Keimani's murder has been one of profound shock and sadness. Residents of Victorian Village expressed surprise and concern over the daytime shooting during Jones's arrest. The incident shattered the sense of peace and security in their neighborhood. Police have assured the public that the situation is contained and there is no further threat. However, the emotional wounds inflicted by Keimani's death will take much longer to heal. The community is grappling with the loss of innocence and the reality of violence in their midst. Keimani's mother, Tiara Caston, and grandmother, Dorothy Latigue, are understandably devastated by her death. Their grief is compounded by the knowledge that Keimani's own father is accused of this horrific crime. The pain they are experiencing is unimaginable. The grandmother tearfully confessed she regretted letting Keimani see her father the night she went missing. "I feel deceived. I feel like this was pre-planned," she told W2L11. This regret highlights the complex emotions and the burden of guilt that family members often carry in the wake of such tragedies. Keimani was a bright and promising young girl with a bright future ahead of her. She was a basketball player at Spring Elementary School, excelling both on and off the court. Her teachers and peers remember her fondly. She was to be recognized at the school's honor roll assembly, a testament to her academic achievements. Keimani was described as personable and well-liked, a friend to many. Her loss is felt deeply by the entire school community. Keimani's body was found in an abandoned house on Miami Street, a grim reminder of the violence she suffered. The location itself has become a symbol of the tragedy, a place of sorrow and despair. The house will be demolished after the investigation. The demolition aims to help the community heal by removing the physical reminder of the crime. While it cannot erase the pain, it is a symbolic step towards reclaiming the space and moving forward. The community hopes to create something positive in its place. Keimani was reported missing on March 16th after her grandmother found the front door unlocked. This discovery immediately raised concerns, as it was out of character for Keimani. The grandmother's instincts told her something was terribly wrong. Jones claimed Keimani called him saying she was scared to be home alone. He was believed to be the last person to see her alive, making him a person of interest from the beginning. His conflicting stories further fueled the suspicion surrounding his involvement. The Toledo community rallied together to launch a search party for Keimani. Family members organized search parties and distributed flyers, desperately hoping for her safe return. The community's response demonstrated their compassion and determination to find her. Keimani was described as a kind and caring rule follower, which is why her mother and grandmother were certain she did not just run away. The community's efforts, though ultimately unsuccessful in bringing her home alive, showed their unwavering support for the family. Jones gave investigators conflicting stories about Keimani's whereabouts, raising red flags. His inconsistent accounts made it difficult for investigators to piece together the events leading up to her disappearance. These inconsistencies ultimately contributed to his arrest. He was initially charged with abduction, reflecting the initial focus of the investigation. As more evidence emerged, the charges were escalated to include murder. The changing charges reflect the evolving understanding of the crime. Keimani's death was ruled a homicide, and her father is the prime suspect, according to police. The investigation took a gut-wrenching turn when the child's mangled and abused body was found in an abandoned Toledo home. The details of her death are deeply disturbing. "I have not slept in 3 days. I have not eaten in 3 days," Caston said on Friday. "I have never had a seizure before, and I've had 3. The mother's anguish is palpable, reflecting the unbearable pain of losing a child in such a violent manner. This is a 14-year-old who was murdered, raped, had her hands cut off, and her throat almost cut off. Keimani's 14th birthday was just days away from when her body was discovered. The brutality of the crime has shocked and horrified the community. Keimani's grandmother claimed she is scared for her own safety, a reflection of the heightened emotions and tensions within the community. A mob allegedly formed outside her home after the body was found, fueled by anger and grief. The situation became volatile. Police escorted her out of her home in handcuffs for her safety, a measure taken to protect her from potential harm. This incident highlights the complex and often dangerous dynamics that can arise in the aftermath of such a horrific crime. The murder of Keimani Latigue is a tragedy that demands our attention and action. We must remember Keimani, not just as a victim, but as a vibrant young girl whose life was stolen too soon. Her story serves as a stark reminder of the importance of protecting our children and holding perpetrators of violence accountable. Now is the time to act. Contact your local representatives and demand increased funding for child protective services and violence prevention programs. Support organizations that work to protect children and families in need. Share Keimani's story to raise awareness and prevent similar tragedies from happening again. Let us honor Keimani's memory by creating a safer and more just world for all children.